Oh, yes. Just thinking about that species that calls himself law enforcement, coach. With the amount of documentation that I've provided that it is against the law to issue protection orders where I didn't receive any actual notice of court hearings. Yeah. And then it is against the law to issue protection orders where there's no penalty of perjury to the petitioner. Yes. Because everything has to be true and correct in the judiciary. Yes. Then there's the use of the forgeries. Right. Your whole thought was, well, we're an ancient breed and what we're doing is more important than the enforcement of the laws of the United States. But I think you've been playing with some DNA and you're a different species. Pooh. You wanted to teach me the lesson that you're in control, and no matter how many times I email you, you're not going to enforce the laws of the United States. Now, when I watched that movie, yes, somebody from outer space gave him some DNA. Ooh. And the woman went looking to breed. Oh, as in, well, I'm just going to have a fur, a fish baby. Pooh. And we're just going to keep doing this. Now, it seems that your family got involved with something that's very, very dangerous. And I'm wanting you to enforce the actual laws of the United States. So, what I'd like you to do is remove your fraud from the judicial system of the United States so that I could sue you. Now, I could probably pay for my own medical care. Yes, if you would remove your fraud from the judiciary. Could you do that today? Because I'm not going to motion you. See, when you don't protect my rights as a citizen because of your top secret way of your special species, where every time you get upset, you come to find out that really what you're coming is some sort of weird fish in your brain. Pouch! I know, Pouch, you're upset with this. Oops, sorry, dog. You're a different species. Now you had to keep it top secret that you. Ooh, ooh. Thinking about the electric grid this morning, yes. It seemed that somebody wanted to sew it in because you had to be on everybody. Oh, now let's think about it for a second. What is the ground for? Ouch. Well, as a citizen, yes, and a person and a human being, yes. Someone that didn't sew in and didn't come to find out and wasn't part of your Nazi family. Ouch! What did I not see? The SS. I think that the electricity goes from the top of my head out my feet so that I can disconnect from your system, but over the years you kept discharging into me. See, you'd load yourselves up, yes, and then you'd be on me and you'd discharge the electric grid into me so as to make it look like I was crazy. Pooh. Well, why don't we do this today? Because I understand that there's some persons that are upset about having flaccid genitals, men. Well, what you could do is you could find out the individual that's been feeding your lizard. The lizard. Why don't you discharge into that thing? Pooch. Then we could pull the electric grid through those that have the lizards in their misery. Pooh! And then we could remove it from the population so you can't be on anybody. Yes. Now, I understand Homeland Security is concerned about terrorism. That's why they sewed the grid into everybody. Yes. Why don't we call Homeland Security today and find out where their lizards are at? It seems that this whole concept of having to have to be on the actual citizens where you discharge into somebody, yes, and then you act like touching their nose will give them that feeling of sexual stimulation, but really you're just having sex with your own discharge. Ooh. Now let's look at the grid, all right? We do not pull the electricity from the ground out the top of the head of the citizens. No, we don't. What we do is we have you discharge into your lizard pouch. Then we pull the grid through your lizard so that you remove yourself from every citizen's nervous system. Now, I know it's upsetting because you've tortured me numerous times over the last 7 years and 4 months, and I'm wanting to remove this special discharge electric grid where you discharge into somebody and then they be on somebody and then they discharge into, and you keep doing that and you keep doing that and you keep doing that. All of a sudden oh, look at Tesla just showed up. Oh my gosh. Now, why don't we just find out where this large lizard is? Because we like to pull the grid out of the bodies of the citizens. Do you understand, Sheriff? Now, I do really believe that I know that the requirements of the law have to be enforced, and saying that I'm crazy is not the enforcement of the law. What you need to say is, I'm not crazy, I'm not mentally ill, and that you need to remove the electricity out of the bodies of the citizens because of your species. Thinking that your dogs are more important than the citizens of the United States of America. So why don't you just tell me the location of your big lizard? Uh-oh.